SRK Knowledge Foundation presents Santokbaa Humanitarian Awards 2026.
From humble beginnings in rural Gujarat to building Shree Ramkrishna Exports into a global diamond powerhouse, Govind Dholakia's journey has been guided by a belief in giving back. Over 6 decades, SRK Exports has grown into a value-driven enterprise with more than 9,000 family members, while setting global benchmarks as world's first net zero certified natural diamond crafting company. Beyond diamonds, that spirit of service lives on through the SRK Knowledge Foundation. The group's philanthropic arm, which has touched over 8.3 million lives through initiatives across education, healthcare, and social development. Inspired by the compassion and values of his mother, Srimati Santokbaa, Govind Dholakia instituted Santokbaa Humanitarian Awards to honor lives dedicated to service. Over 2 decades, the award has recognized icons including His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, Ratan Tata, and Sudha Murthy, among others.
The spirit of service that we've been discussing is reflected in the remarkable work of our next set of guests. The Santokbaa Humanitarian Awards celebrate individuals whose work has created a lasting impact on society. Joining me today is Shree Dholakia, Director and Brand Custodian, SRK Exports, representing the vision behind the platform along with the year's distinguished award recipients. Dr. Gulapalli Nageshwara Rao, Founder, Chair, LV Prasad Eye Institute. Reema Nanavati, Director, Self-Employed Women's Association, SEWA as we all know it. We also have Shrikant Bola, Founder, Bolant Industries with us. And we also have our esteemed jury member, retired Admiral R. Hari Kumar, former Chief of the Indian Navy. So welcome to you. Welcome to all of you on this very special panel. This is such a remarkable panel because I am sitting in the prestigious company of somebody who started this so many years back and has a legacy, and also the wonderful work that is being done has been recognized today. And I would want to come to you, Shreyans, and talk to you about कि इस award को शुरू करने के पीछे क्या सोच थी और कैसे वो हुआ. But first of all, how do you see the journey of this award? Especially, what does this platform mean for SRK? And you are second generation. You are carrying the legacy forward. What has the journey been like? What have been some of the milestones that you have really held close to your heart?
Thank you, Mugdaji. Thank you all the panelists for coming down to Surat, being amongst us as a family. Definitely, SRK stands for Shree Ramkrishna, which the company was started by my father in 1964 in Surat. Journey continues. He builds an empire and legacy for us as a family. Everything that our family and business in general, and also the family in the company that we call them, what we have all learned and we live today by are the principles and the values. The principles definitely comes from my grandfather, passed on to my father and that generation and to us now, which is on the lines of honesty, integrity, being on our words. And then, of course, the emotional part is always the mother. Right. So my grandmother passed on all the value systems that one has to the family, which also not just by saying, but by action that she used to do. And that was remained in my father's heart and mind. When she passed away in 2004, and that's when my father was like, how can I make her name immortal through, few centuries or few decades? And consulting few friends, we got a suggestion that if you start an award and identify and honor those individuals which matches to the characteristics of your mother, that would be doing a lot of honor to the awardees as well and keeping her name throughout. So in 2006 is when we started the award, and today very important milestone is what we are celebrating is 20 years.
Lovely.
We would have never thought that this would come so far. It's 20 years already, and many distinguished awardees, the one present on the stage, have in fact accepted to be honored. I mean, I would put it the other way. It's not we honoring them. These individuals selflessly work. They're not in search for awards.
Yeah.
It is we have to identify and try to convince them because they are not in search. So thank you very much. And today also marks another milestone at the 20 years junction where we are also introducing another award set.
Yes.
Yes, but that
We will talk about
yes,
that.
later. Thank you.
Yeah. Dr. Rao, if I may start about the award journey with you and take it to Rimaji. Today philanthropy is looked at in a very different way. You have these CSR fundings, you have philanthropy almost written in your company DNAs, but the spirit of service is very different from what you have to report in your yearly reports, etc. And also, I feel sometimes we are looking at philanthropy or serving humanity coming only from deep-pocketed people. But what is it that serving humanity really means to you? You have been doing this for years now. What has pushed you every single day to continue work?
To me, a physician, I always tell our colleagues, if you just do excellent surgery, you are a very good technician. If you also do excellent surgery and you know why you are doing it, what you are doing, and when you should not be doing it, using your head, you become an ophthalmologist. When you also really add the spirit of caring, real caring, then you become a real doctor and deserve to have those two letters, DR, before your name. And I believe every DR should have that spirit of service. And what motivated us to explore this journey that we have undertaken nearly 40 years ago, we just completed 39 years, was probably several influences along my life. Yeah. Growing up in a rural village, first in 10 years of my life, then a small town, then a bigger city, and then going and working in America. And it's a combination in some sense, and the influences of several people, family members, teachers, friends. And I have learned from so many people along this journey, both formal and informal. And I must say, I have benefited far more from informal learning than formal learning. There's so much to learn from so many people in the world. And all that helped me. When we wanted to start our institute, the idea behind was very simple. Reconcile excellence with equity. That is high quality care made available to everybody. So I was impressed by what I have seen in America, and what I saw there was the possibility of doing a lot, the possibility of maintaining standards and reaching the top. And I always felt, why is it that we can't do it in our own country, the same thing? So that was the motivation to come back and start a center in Hyderabad. And initially it was just one center in Hyderabad, an academic eye center that would provide care, that would educate cadres of eye care professionals and engage in research, eye care research. But then we have added a very important component. Realizing the importance of that is to help the people with irreversible vision loss and add the rehabilitation component. So that's how we started. And today we are in 317 locations in 3 states, 280 plus primary care vision centers in remote, rural and tribal areas, 26 rural eye centers, secondary level care, and then 4 tertiary hospitals and 1 quaternary at the very top. So that's what we are, 3,000 strong. And we are primarily in 3 states, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Orissa. And we have helped many other programs throughout the country and many other countries over this 39-year-old journey. And for all this, it would not have been possible without the support we have received from friends all over the world. The donation may be 5,000 rupees or maybe 50 crores. We don't show any difference. Depending on how much they can contribute, we have taken up programs and built on that. And that gave us the current status and stature in the world. And we are very grateful to every one of them. What touches you is not a very, very high net worth individual or corporation giving us 100 crores or 50 crores. But what touches even more is a retired government employee coming and saying, I want to give 50% of my retirement fund to you. And I several times I asked them, are you sure you may need this for your health care? They would say, no. I have a small apartment, I own it. I don't have to pay the rent.
I think that's,
my living standards are very simple. So I want to share 50% of what I have to support what you're doing. And when you see such people coming out and willing to give, to help people who need it, then you realize the real spirit of giving and the benefits of giving.
No, wonderfully put. And so well deserved, sir. Congratulations on this wonderful
award. Philanthropy. And the other important component that made it what we are today is the 90% of our employees work very hard, very diligent. And that made all the difference. That combination of the support and the dedication of our staff.
Wonderful, sir. Rima ji, if I may get you in here. शायद ही कोई ऐसा होगा जिसने सेवा के बारे में नहीं सुना होगा. It's such a wonderful organization and doing such good work with all heart. The model has been adopted by so many other organizations. What was happening in your mind, going in your mind when you started it, when it started to scale, when it started to get the kind of adulation, admiration, and the responsibility that came with it? Tell me about your journey, ma'am.
Thank you so much. And I think we're very fortunate that I get to share the stage with such luminaries as well. I think all credit goes to SEWA's members, who are the poor, self-employed women workers in the informal economy of our country. And everything that we have been able to achieve today, it is because of their trust, their faith in the organizing, and their dedication and the service. And I think we were founded way back in 1972 by my mother-in-law, Ela Bhatt. And when she saw that the needs of these poor informal sector women are very small, but yet, you know, they have to struggle very hard to get access to those kind of needs. And that's how we started with the goals of full employment and self-reliance of our members. And we strive to achieve that every member has full employment, which means work and income security, food security, and access to basic support services, which is healthcare, childcare, insurance, and shelter. And when you are able to provide those kind of services to your members, our members themselves bring in more and more women. So in 1972, we started with just 1,200 women in the city of Ahmedabad. And today we have around 3.8 million members across 21 states in India. And I think it is the members and who are leading today. So at SEWA, we very firmly believe that, you know, जो दूसरों को आगे करता है, वो आगेवान होता है. You put others before you, and that's how I think we have turned from an organization into a movement spreading across the country. And that's why the government of India also invited us to work in Afghanistan, in Sri Lanka, in Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, and now in Africa. And I think all our strength and energy that's needed, all the motivation that's needed comes from our members. As our founder always taught me, that poverty is also a form of violence with the consent of the society. So therefore, we had SEWA come together as poor, as women, and as workers to build our collective strength to fight poverty. We are not here to fight with a government or a trader or a contractor, but our fight is against poverty. And how can the women earn a life of dignity and self-respect? And when you enjoy dignity and self-respect, I think more and more women come into the fold. And that's what we are today.
Wonderful.
Also.
All power and strength.
And I think
to
the
you.
recognition that the Santokbaa Award is giving is to these hardworking women of our country. Thank you.
Wonderful. Hari Kumarji, you had the toughest job as part of the jury. How easy or difficult is it when you have such wonderful stories and then you have to take a pick and you have to say, इनका contribution ज़्यादा है या इनका contribution इनसे भी ज़्यादा है, कम की तो बात ही नहीं हो रही है यहाँ पर. So what was that experience like for you, and what is something that you are taking back with you through this process?
I agree with you. It's a tough choice and a tough call to make when you have so many people who are doing a lot of selfless service in our country. For me, particularly being in the military, for us it is always service before self, and therefore one could easily relate to the type of contribution they are all making to the society. We place, they say that there is no limitation, or no liability that is sort of kept in front of us when we join the armed forces. So we promise to serve with our life. Therefore, when we see people who are striving selflessly for the rest of society, it's very heartwarming, and it's very easy for us to relate with them. In this particular case, I could also remember the words of our Honorable Prime Minister, where he said, I was in the Padma Awards jury, and we were told that you should look for unsung heroes. There are plenty of them in our country. The heroes who are praised, everybody knows about them. But it's the unsung heroes that you should look for. So therefore, we definitely looked in that direction, and we could see the sterling contribution of Dr. Rao and Rimadi and all that. So therefore, the choice sort of was unanimous.
Wonderful. We have Shrikant Bola with us, but before I come to you, Shrikant, I have to ask Shans that this time there has been a change. There is a new award category, and we have the awardee with us. So first of all, let me speak to you about this new category and why did you feel the need to introduce this?
Thank you. Yeah, I think Shrikant is holding back his thoughts for long now. As I mentioned, it's been 20 years since Santokbaa Humanitarian Award was started. And now the reins have been passed on to the next generation in our family. So when we youngsters were sitting and said, what next we can think of the award? And that's when we realized that we need to start another set of award as well, so in humanitarian award, for us, the activity, as Hari Kumarji rightly mentioned, is very, very tough when we are taking that call. Because it's too huge impact level that we are talking with humanitarian activities that they have been doing. It's always in millions of numbers, right? But as Prime Minister also mentioned to Hari Kumarji that we need to find unsung heroes, in 2022, when we as a family went to Delhi and to meet him, and we introduced these awards to him in a way that we are doing this, it's like, this is all fine you are doing, but we have millions of people remotest places in India, how would you find them and also put them on the stage along with the big dignitaries? So we have that motivation. From that we are thinking, and that's how we are like people with high impact levels. Of course, we have many mediums to honor them, but there are few individuals, entrepreneurs. When we see entrepreneurs, it's a business entrepreneur, of course, running a commercial activity. Then there was a concept of authentic leadership and authentic entrepreneurship. We said, can we have a social entrepreneurship, which of course is doing a commercial activity day in, day out, but through his means and activity on a daily basis, he's still making that impact in the society, but that's on a practical daily basis, not through the income. Of course, through income one generates and do is another philanthropic work, but this is like daily work. And of course, when we all have seen the movie and we know who to pick, the first choice was easy, Hari Kumarji. But we have a list ready for whom we want to now really get into and honor Social Entrepreneurship Award, Santokbaa Social Entrepreneurship Award 2, and help motivate the youth that even they can do something like this, you know.
No, I think recognition is so important because it gives you a platform where you get recognized and perhaps more doors open for you. Shrikant, you're the first awardee in this category. This is a double congratulation coming your way, not just the award recipient, but the first one who comes to the mind of the jury when they're thinking of someone who needs to be awarded in this category. How does that make you feel? And also tell us about your journey and how you are here today with such achievements.
Thank you so much. I think it's a rarest honor to be here. Had been spending quite a good amount of time with the family. Quite amazed at the bandwidth of philanthropic and social work the Dholakia family does. And more importantly, it's the rarest honor to be receiving Santokbaa Social Entrepreneurship Award today. You know, I believe every entrepreneur, irrespective of he's making money or not making money, has some problem that he or she is working on. And I think I really appreciate Shreyansh Bhai for understanding that root cause. Every entrepreneur has some impact to be made and something to be felt in the society. And I think recognizing entrepreneurs who go through the roller coaster ride every day is a really, really important boost for the medium of entrepreneurship. You know, if you ask me, entrepreneurship is not like a joblessness as we see in India. It is a journey. Ultimately, it's a spiritual path. Because no one understands why people want to work so hard, take huge risks, and put ourselves through a roller coaster. Even today, if you ask my father, he would happily smile and say, I want him to get a government job and get married to a pretty girl. You know how it is, right? Yeah. The thought of working for someone else, let alone for the government, fills me with total dread. Yeah. And I'm such a rebel, no one would employ me. That's why maybe perhaps I became an entrepreneur. I think even though entrepreneurship must have been in my blood, but it's my personal experiences and hardships I faced as a child made me to realize, and I think it's those experiences and hardships that's what shaped me to become an entrepreneur and pick up a problem that has been there forever and want to generate a business model around it and work on it. So in 2012, when in fact before that, when I was studying at MIT, I was seeing a lot of innovative models in Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, and many other places on sustainability. And when I turned my interest towards sustainability, waste management, and recycling, everybody thought I am becoming an idiot. And people said, "Arey yaar, aaj tak hum log socha tum andha hai, but abhi ganda bhi banne ja raha hu." I asked them, "Why do you think so?" Because you know, waste is a dirty business, and why do you want to make your hands dirty and recycle waste? That's when I realized there is a huge perceptual change that I have to bring among millions of people while processing the minds and minds of waste that is lying up there, be it in agro space, be it in chemical space, be it in synthetic space. And that's how I thought, why not I take up this challenge, as I have been being a change maker all through my life, changing the perceptions of the people. And this is one more opportunity to be the Bakra for the future sustainability and change. And that's how we ended up getting into waste management and sustainability. On a societal level, one of the problems that always stuck with me ever since I was a child is employing people who are at the margins of the society, be it whether they are challenged, be it whether they are uneducated, unskilled, or people whom nobody wants to hire. So when you look at people with disabilities, without education, nobody would want to employ them, particularly the industrial sector.
True.
And they can't even do it in agriculture. But when you look at people who are partially educated or educated, they are not either qualified or the infrastructure doesn't support for them to mingle in the regular environment. And when I looked at corporates, people simply doesn't want to walk that extra mile and equip with special needs and special softwares and technology. That's when we thought, now enough is enough. Not saying we'll get the work done. We will have to do it and demonstrate that these people can in fact perform better than the robots in the Apple factories.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly we have been doing since last 12 years. And we at Boland has no limitation on what we can recycle, ranging from your agro waste into valuable products, FMCG and home care, personal care products using all the agro waste, recycling pharma effluents into industrial chemical products, or recycling your own boiler generated ash into mineral products like silica, aluminum, and many other alternatives. And we do create a big portfolio of sustainable food packaging, disposable and restaurant supply products for global markets, because we really want to be a partner for Make in India campaign, and all our products are made in India, sold in the world. All the innovations are made in India, and that foreign dollars are brought back to India for better impact and to maximize our impact across the society. So just to close, over last 12 years, I think we have impacted more than a couple of thousands of people directly and maybe more than 10,000 people indirectly in getting respectful employment, dignity back to them, social status back to them. And I simply have a thought of giving back to people whatever I have lost as a child. So I really wanted to give that social respect, stigma, and equal and fairer communities to live. So today, as I'm receiving this award, and I think 3 values that I'm reminded of today, that Santokbaa had literally followed and preached to this next generation of the family. As a child, I have learned what it means to have compassion. And it is not actually at donating some money or something, but it should be within the heart. And it is that compassion that makes people rich. And when you actually do something for someone, you will be the first beneficiary. And when you actually take the loneliness out of the people, that's how you make people wealthy and make people and richer. And that's how SRK Group is going to create fairer, cleaner, and equitable world for all of us to live in.
Wonderful. It's so wonderful to hear all of you talk about your achievements in such modest and humble way. And kudos to the judges of the jury. I mean, selecting has been a task, I'm sure. Shrants, if I may ask the last set of questions to the speakers, of course, but I just want to know from you, over the period of so many years, the people you have awarded, the recognition, what has it meant for them? And have the growth been something different after they came and got awarded at a platform as prestigious as yours?
Thank you. Definitely, I think I mentioned earlier as well, when we honor these individuals, they are at a scale impacting millions of lives, and then being very modest where they don't want any recognition. So it's first is very difficult to convince them. Second, because they have all the means to spread their good work, and some need support, some doesn't. But when we started that along with the honor and the award, we will also be giving 1 crore rupees of check to their charitable trust, which they can use in order to enhance their impact levels. To some, it might mean a lot, but to some, it might mean very fraction. because we had various awardees. So, but yeah, that is our way of just trying to help them do that work even more. It does not mean the money, but what it means is the support.
Yeah.
And I think to the 17 awardees that we have, until before today we have given, it would have not directly, we have no tracking of it, but definitely would have meant a lot in the society.
Wonderful. This has been such a great honor to be on the same stage as all of you. We are short of time, but thank you for all the work that you do. Reema ji and Dr. Rao, if I can get only 1 minute of yours. You know, you have been doing this work for a very long time. Shrikant already spoke about the values he is carrying forward as a young entrepreneur who is doing so much work. To the generation that is now living in a very different and difficult times, where you are from nuclear, you are going to perhaps very, very nuclear. You are not really thinking about the society as you were thinking in the past. The self has become so important, and individualization has become, individualism has become so important for people. What do you have to tell to people who are in this generation and for wrong or right reason are prioritizing only themselves?
I think in just 1 minute, I would like to say that, the organization itself says that it's the Self-Employed Women's Association. And I think India as a country is fortunate that 93% of them are in that sector. And I think if we all want to live a life of dignity and self-respect, even if we are thinking of the self, but I think we need to learn from them the kind of entrepreneurial, the kind of risk-taking ability, the kind of ability to, overcome any challenges that may come in their lives. And the best is that how they turn adversity into an opportunity. Yeah. I'm talking about these poor women. And last, but what is very important is that, they not only, innovation is not a luxury for them. Yeah. It's their coping and day-to-day their survival strategy. So there's so much that we can learn from them, which I've been learning all my life. And these are the people of our country. We need to look at them. We need to partner with them. So I think that's my message. Thank you. And I really appreciate that the Santokbaa Humanitarian Foundation and the SRK Knowledge Foundation has really spotted these very hardworking communities of our country.
Wonderful, ma'am. Dr. Rao, you may have the last word.
What I tell our trainees and we constantly reinforce is, when we are learning medicine, we are learning on the bodies of people. Quite often as trainees, it is the people who are economically underprivileged on whom you are learning. So when you become a bigger self of yourself, a prominent physician, it's only natural that you repay. That means you are indebted to these individuals on whose bodies you have become a doctor. So you are indebted. And if you are the type, you always repay your debt, whatever debts you incur. Here also you have to repay your debt. Throughout your life, as a physician, you have to continue to take care of everybody that comes to you. Essentially, they are in front of you. They have a problem that you can fix. You just fix. Don't think about anything else.
That's a great note to end our discussion at. Thank you so much to each one of you for taking our time. Today we are celebrating each one of you sitting here, and my heartiest wishes to all of you. And may we celebrate your awards today. Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
Every journey we have heard today is different, but they are united by a common purpose: the commitment to create meaningful change. Whether through healthcare, women's empowerment, social entrepreneurship, or community development, these stories remind us that lasting impact is built through dedication, perseverance, and service. Thank you all for watching.
SRK Knowledge Foundation presents Santokbaa Humanitarian Awards 2026.